Welcome to The Record Machine Show, a podcast featuring interviews from indie and renowned artists from all genres of music. Now, here's your host, James Michael Hollenstein.
Welcome to The Record Machine Show. I'm James Michael Hollenstein, and today's guest is a songwriter who doesn't chase trends, he chases truth. Rich Allen is an award-winning singer-songwriter whose work comes straight from the soul. A 2025 ISSA Silver Award winner for Songwriter of the Year and an ICMA Best Folk Artist of North America. Rich represents the heart of authentic storytelling in today's music world. Raised in New Jersey, Rich's journey into music began in a quiet, intuitive dialogue, teaching himself piano and guitar and turning solitude into expression. Today, he resides on Davis Islands in Tampa, Florida, where reflection, connection, and creativity continue to shape his sound. Rich is an active member of the Singer-Songwriters Circle, Americana Music Association, International Singer-Songwriter Association, and New Artist Spotlight, with affiliations including ASCAP and the National Writers Union. He's also the founder and editor of Indie Resonance Voice, a platform dedicated to honest musical conversation and artist advocacy. His acclaimed body of work, including the album Thursday's Child, has earned him Songwriter of the Year 2023 for Did You Cry, Lyricist of the Year 2024 at the Elite Music Awards, and a 2025 Elite Music Awards nomination for Songwriter of the Year. Beyond the accolades, Rich is deeply committed to mental health awareness, using vulnerability as a bridge, not a barrier, to genuine human connection. And before we dive into the conversation, let's hear the music that sets the tone for everything we're about to talk about. Let's put the needle to the record and kick things off with Kept My Name.
You kept my name. I wasn't sure why. Was it a way to hold on while saying goodbye? An afterthought, slipping through the cracks, a keepsake, a reminder of a love that didn't last. You kept my name.
You kept my name.
You kept my name.
You kept my
Doesn't seem fair. That's true life. Was it a way to say you care before taking your exit flight? You never finished anything, but for me, saw through to the end. All those years of college to sell cars and bartend. You kept my name. You kept my name. Traded love for money. Well, I guess that says it all. You pass your final judgment. Push me, watch me falls, but I won't crawl. You kept my name. You kept my name. You kept my name. You kept my name. Where's your true self hiding behind some social class? Running from your past. I didn't see it coming. The lessons learned that nothing ever lasts. Oh, my heart is so hollow, an empty shell. If you hold it to your ear, then you'll know all too well. All my joys, hopes, silence unrevived. I lost my soul the day you said goodbye and kept my name. You kept my name. Where's your true self hiding behind some social glass? Running from your past. I didn't see it coming. The lessons learned that nothing ever lasts. So hold it oh so closely, you know deep down inside. Each time you write or say it keeps my memory alive. I'll take it as an honor, stick it straight through my chest. And you can hold it oh so closely until your final breath. You kept my name. You kept my name. You kept my
You just heard Kept My Name by Rich Allen, and I got him on the line for a chat. Welcome to the show, Rich, and I see you grew up in New Jersey and now call Davis Islands and Tampa your home. How have those two very different places shaped you personally and musically?
Well, growing up in New Jersey, I grew up in a small seaside town that was very tourist related. So in the wintertime, after Labor Day, they would roll up the streets basically, and it would be a very small, tight-knit community. So, there was nothing to do in the middle of the winter except play music. Mm-hmm. And then the summertime, the place would just fill, the restaurants and the bars, and there was always live music there. So music has always been, I've been surrounded by it pretty much. When I came to Florida and Tampa, it was a little slow going getting involved with the music scene, but then I found out there was a tremendous singer-songwriters community, and I got involved with that. So both, I don't want to say either one influenced me more, but what I'll say is that I've been lucky to find community in music in both regional areas that I've lived, and I'm thankful for that. What really impresses me is everybody says, oh, you got to go to Nashville. But if you look around at the singers and songwriters that are in your local communities, by like going to open mics or songwriter showcases, mm-hmm. you see amazing talent that's not necessarily mainstream talent. It's not picked by the tastemakers. And there's a million great artists out there that will never get heard because they don't have the marketing or the big labels or back there behind them pushing for their success. Mm-hmm. As independent artists, you spend just as much time marketing and promoting more time online trying to promote yourself, that you wear many more hats than if you had the money and the resources of a large record label.
Right. How long have you been in Tampa?
I moved to Tampa about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. So I've been here a while. I'm an older guy, and I love it. I came here on vacation and never wanted to leave. It's an amazing community, and I say it's a big city, but it's not. It's really amazing. Like being here so long, I know somebody that knows somebody, and somebody knows. There's always this connection, and I love that. I love that about a city that has a pedestrian feel, where you can walk on the streets and experience the beauty. Again, this is all it's wonderful until the hurricanes come through.
Right.
And then it's a little stressful. But other than that, it's I truly believe it's a little slice of heaven. It's definitely paradise.
I'm sure. I grew up in New Jersey too.
Yeah, we're north, south, or should I say what exit?
Bergen County, New Jersey, near Hackensack and Fort Lee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was from Cape May, exit 0, right at the end. Yeah. But it's I enjoy it. I love to go back there and eat. The best pizza in the world comes from New Jersey, and you can't find even the best Italian food. I love it. So
I agree with you there. Your journey into music started in a very personal way. How did you first get into music, and what led you to teach yourself piano and guitar?
It's hard to say. I just, it was something that was always inside of me. And when I would go to see live perform and, live musicians play, a lot of live acts, and then got a chance to see like the professional bands, I just said, well, I want to do that. I want to do that. And it was just something that I set out to do. I still don't feel like I've mastered any instrument. I get frustrated a lot of times, but what I realized is that it was structure and discipline and being intentional about practicing and not just noodling around like on guitar, but actually running my scales, learning the theory, and going through all the necessary steps to give me a solid foundation so that I can constantly improve. That was, I guess what I'm trying to say was what kind of satisfied this thing inside of me. And then I started writing personally from the heart. And at first, for the longest time, I wouldn't share any of my music or even have the confidence to sing or play in front of anybody.
Wow.
And then it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of happened that I had a guy that listened to some of my music who actually was working for me, and he was like, this stuff's really good. He goes, by the way, I play bass. We should get together.
Nice.
And the next thing you know, I have this band going on. And having those other musicians in the early years behind me playing with me on stage gave me the confidence. And then as years progressed, I started to develop more and more confidence. And then now, being an older guy, my meter has changed. So now I really, I do it for myself, and I do it to put it out there. So I don't really worry about what people think or say, because music and art is subjective. It's going to appeal to somebody, and it might not appeal to somebody else. But if I can spark an emotion in you with my music, even if you hate it, I've still sparked an emotion in you. And so I know that sounds kind of perverse and it's almost reverse, but I just figured, you can't be afraid to put yourself out there and put your art out there, because art is subjective. And it might speak to that that one person. And if you make a connection, your fan base grows. And it's really not, for me, it's not about fans. It's not about anything except that I want to express myself in art. I want to use music and songwriting as a way to express myself and put it out there. And then once I put it out there, it belongs to everybody else.
Right.
So it's kind of I release it. I write a lot for therapy, if you will.
Right.
And I'm not ashamed to say that. So by writing and processing and writing my and releasing it, I feel like it also helps me hone my craft.
Yes, definitely makes sense. Growing up, who were some of the artists or influences that helped shape your sound and songwriting approach?
So very early, I'm going to go back like real early. It would be artists like Loretta Lynn,
nice,
Jim Croce, The Grateful Dead,
nice,
very big, The Grateful Dead. And then later on in the 90s, I was totally stopped me right in my tracks the first time I ever heard Counting Crows. And I saw it on a late night show, and they sang Round Here. And I thought to myself, wow, this Adam writes lyrics in the same vein as Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan, personal and kind of a different aspect on songwriting. I mean, I felt like Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell opened the door for personal songwriting and storytelling. And other artists that followed after tried to imitate them, but never were quite successful. But then I listened to Adam from the Counting Crows, and I was like, wow. So I'm going to say that they were my major influences. But then, I listened to a wide variety of music. I mean, I totally love Chet Baker and his contemporary jazz standards. But I also, I like pop music. I like rap music with a positive message. I like spiritual music. And I also like meditative music. I feel like, you have to appreciate the art and talent in all music if you're truly a music lover. And as an artist, I like to listen and see how they put their compositions together and how they express themselves. When you become a recording artist, suddenly the way you listen to music changes dramatically, as if somebody who doesn't play music, we tend to listen to, where they put the bridge and the chord structure and, the way they voice the song and things along those lines. So I don't want to say it's a mixed blessing. It takes some of the mystery out of it once you record and release things and understand how the studio works. Right. Than it is before you had no idea. You're just somebody. I'm sorry, that was my dog. You're just listening, turning on your radio and just listening and bopping down the street.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Your songs feel deeply intuitive and emotionally grounded. When you sit down to write, what usually comes first, the lyrics, the melody, or the feeling behind the song?
So all of it is, my songwriting process is very fluid. Sometimes it's just the words. And then other times I'll be sitting there playing on the piano or the guitar, depending, and the melody will come there, and the music comes, and then I kind of I do something which is kind of strange, I guess, is I hit record on my DAWs, and basically I'll just spit out lyrics, and some of them don't make sense. Then I'll go back and listen to it, and then I'll pick and choose. But most of the time, as of late, especially this whole last album, The Ghosts We Keep, I set out wanting to write about a specific theme. So everything, the lyrics came first on this whole album, and then I wrote the music to go with it. Nice. And then I kind of figured out the melody structure and things like that. I lamented a lot about the lyrics and switched out words and phrases because I wanted it to be impactful, but I also wanted it to keep the personalized feeling of the song I was writing. I wanted my music and the people to hear it, to experience the emotion and the ebb and flow of what I was experiencing at this particular point in my life. If that I guess in answer to your question, for this album, the lyrics came first and music second, but that was not necessarily true with past projects.
Right. It depends on the scenario, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because sometimes I'll sit down and a song will just come to me, and I don't know where it comes from. I always say that that's a gift that was given. And all of a sudden I sit down and I just write everything. And then there's other times where I'll sit down to write and it's not coming. It's just not flowing. And at those times I leave it alone. I walk away because I don't want to write something or force lyrics. I want them to really come from deep inside, and I want the message to be understood, but I also want the message to have many different interpretations. I want the listener to decide really how they relate to it.
Yeah. And isn't it funny how, each listener has a different take on the same song?
I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of art. It's no different than if you look at a painting and I like to think that, we paint with sound.
Right.
And when if you look at a painting, your interpretation of that painting might be different than my interpretation. Right. It might have the same emotional effect.
Right.
But your interpretation, of course it's going to be different, because I like to think that people bring their life experiences and their joys, their sorrows, their traumas, and their victories into their life and how they react with everyday life. And it's also how people experience things. Sometimes people want to hear sad songs. Sometimes people want to hear happy songs that take them to a special place where, it relives a memory. And that's the beauty of music, and the beauty of being a singer-songwriter. I get to kind of paint with sound.
Exactly. You've received major recognition, including the 2025 ISSA Silver Award for Songwriter of the Year and ICMA Best Folk Artist of North America. What do these honors mean to you on a personal level?
It's humbling. It's sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's very humbling because it's a validation. It's a validation of it's a validation of the hard work that goes into releasing and producing music and my art. I never expected any of it, and it just kind of blows me away because I listen to all these other artists out there that just inspire me, and I'm amazed at, and somehow out of all that, they chose me. So it's humbling. It really is.
Yeah. It's a great feeling, right?
Yeah, it makes me emotional.
Yeah, but it's like you said, it's like validation. All that hard work, that you put in there, you poured your heart out into, all the songs that you've written over the years, and to win awards for it, I mean, it's got to be special.
It is. I mean, as an artist, we're very, how do I say this? There's this transparency into us. We have to be transparent, or we're transparent when we write. So with that comes a little bit of being unguarded. You're kind of opening up, and you're opening up to whatever comes your way, and whatever people might think.
Right.
And regardless, as human nature, we still, we want positive reinforcement. We don't necessarily want people to think anything less that, hey, we're a good human being and we're a good soul. And I guess, again, receiving those awards, especially when I looked at the talent that was around me, I just, again, it's humbling. I'm kind of rambling. I'm sorry.
It's totally fine. You've also were a 2025 Elite Music Awards nominee for Songwriter of the Year with past wins for Did You Cry and Lyricist of the Year. How have those moments shaped your confidence in your creative direction?
Well, it's funny because when I wrote Did You Cry, that was the first time that I really kind of wrote about what was going on inside of my head, if you will. And then when I got Songwriter of the Year because of that song, I was just like, ooh, maybe I should just be a little bit more raw and be a little bit more truthful and a little bit more transparent. So it kind of gave me a little bit of recognition that kind of fueled me to push further and further into more of a folk and less of a rock genre, if you will, and more of a singer-songwriter. Because before then, I wanted the screaming electric guitars and I wanted the drums. And since then, my music has kind of changed where now I want just nothing but acoustic instruments and I want percussions versus, smashing drum sets and loud electric guitars. Not that I don't love all of that. Don't get me wrong. I still rock out. But this album, I wanted it to have more of a continuation of Did You Cry, kind of like a jumping point.
Right.
And then I released the album Thursday's Child, which was very acoustic. And I received a lot of success from that I said, well, this new album, The Ghosts We Keep, I will continue, but refine it even more. And I approached it with the production-wise that less is more. What I mean by that is I use basic string instruments, mandolin, banjo, guitar, percussions, and vocals, and pretty much that's it. On a few of the tracks, I brought in a professional harmonica player, and on Kept My Name, I had trumpet as a kind of a nod to Chet Baker.
Nice.
I try to put these little Easter eggs, these little hidden things in my music that are a nod to other artists that have inspired me along the way.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very cool. You're actively involved with communities like the Singer-Songwriters Circle, Americana Music Association, and ISSA. How important is community and connection in your life as an artist?
It's community across the board is so valuable. And the reason I say that is community, a songwriters community like New Artist Spotlight or ISSA or Songwriter Circle, these are all places where you can come together with like-minded people, and they're also, I want to say, very humble. There's no egos with these folks because they want to learn from you and you want to learn from them. So it's like getting into the room with a bunch of Bills fans or a bunch of Eagles fans. We're all there to kind of help each other grow, and as artists, as individuals, as songwriters. And songwriter circles really help that because you're listening to other people. And again, you get to listen to them and see how they hone their craft. And you glean off of each other. When you think about it, I mean, that's kind of the way it has flowed with all artists from day one. Everything's been done before. I hate to put it that way, but you have the chords in front of you and the possible chord combinations and everything. But when you look at the basic theory, it comes down to, in popular music, is three chords and the truth, so to speak. I'm just stealing that line. But the community, it provides support, and also the networking. Hey, how did you get this gig? Or can you hook me up? Or you say, hey, I'm doing this event. I need somebody to open, or, can I open for you or whatever? And that's just another aspect of it. Also, their fans become your fans, and you grow your organic fan base that way, and you have that opportunity, because especially if you do a show with them where you're sharing the stage with them, the people that come to see them are going to hear you, and the people that come to see me are going to hear them, and if it connects, they become fans, and that helps. That helps grow your fan base, and that helps your music get out there, and in turn, you're helping them get their music out there. So I just think it's a win-win, and it's like one of those things, a rising tide lifts all boats. And, so I believe that if you're a singer-songwriter and you're just looking for somebody to help critique and help you grow, then get involved with these communities and use the resources that they've already have found out, and it'll make your life easier. I do this blog when I have time, and I try to write about subjects that will help singer-songwriters, whether it be on mixing and mastering, or how to maneuver social media, how to set yourself up with the performing rights organization, all of these things that I've already had to find out for myself. And so I dump that information in and put it in blog form, and then I send it out as a blog, and people can get that blog or find information on my website. I share all that information that I've learned, and I believe that that's my job. If I figure out how I was able to maneuver setting up a PRO, or how I was able to increase my followers, why not share that information to other artists?
Right.
I mean, we're all in this together. So whether people believe it or not, we really are. We're all in this together.
Right. That blog you speak of, that's Indie Resonance, right?
IndieResonanceVoice.com, yes.
Yeah.
There's a playlist there. I throw on songs like independent artists that I really like. I do a couple concert reviews here and there. I haven't really spent as much time. Before I was putting out a weekly blog. Now it's about every 2 or 3 weeks, because I'm wrapping up getting the Ghost We Keep out there. I have 2 more songs to mix, and then the album's complete and released. And then I'm also shifting gears, and I've been training for an ultimate marathon run. So just trying to stay active, and so I always got something going on. So I've been writing less, but
it's good to be busy, though, right?
Well, I'm retired. I'm trying to live my best life. So retired from everything but music. That's all I do now is music, and I've been fortunate enough to really be blessed to live in a great place, in a great area where there's plenty of places to play and perform, and plenty of festivals and things along those lines. So
that's awesome. We're featuring 2 songs on the show today, Captain by Name and The Ghost We Keep. Can you share the stories behind the songs, and where did they come from emotionally, and what they represent for you in your journey as a songwriter?
So The Ghost We Keep, which is the title track, was just about you go to visit a foreign country, or I've been in different places in the world, and I've had something that reminded me of something that happened in the past. Or I've felt a presence that I've been here before. And I wanted to write the song "The Ghost We Keep" about experiencing like a new location or a new adventure, but really thinking that this should have maybe been experienced with this other person that's no longer in my life, or feeling their presence there, but realizing that, we're in two different spaces. So that's where the ghosts we keep. It's kind of like having this fantasy in your mind that will never materialize. The last line of the song goes, "I know this apparition's only in my mind," and it's about like, you might think that you're feeling and seeing all this, but is it really true? Is it really just a fantasy? So that's kind of where that song is. And then "Kept My Name," it's actually the "Kept My Name" is kind of when I release it on the album, it'll be called "The Last Keepsake," "Kept My Name," and that came from me trying to process some past traumas in my life, and understanding why a relationship that didn't work out, why my ex-wife chose to keep my name after we divorced and not go back to her maiden name. And it's just my way of processing it. I wrote that song a while ago, a long time ago, and just got around to recording it. I do want to say I'm a happily married man, and I'm a very happy guy, even though I write depressing songs. It's just, I just want to put that disclaimer out there. But it was tapping that time and that experience, reaching back to those moments. And the whole album kind of flows about the things that bother us inside, the ghosts we keep inside, the things that haunt us and torment us, that we never speak about.
Right.
And that's what I kind of wanted to write the whole album about, the things that are within all of us. And we all have different things, but at the end of the day, they're all really the same because they torment us. And sometimes, I don't want to say they hold us back. They only hold us back if we don't recognize them or put them out there and acknowledge that they exist. Exactly. And then once we do that, it becomes a healing journey.
Right.
So, yeah.
Totally.
I know I'm kind of a weird guy, but
no, not at all.
I'm not afraid to kind of say what's on my heart or be transparent, because at the end of the day, like I said, if I put it out there, then it no longer becomes my albatross.
Exactly. Mental health awareness is a meaningful part of your message. How does that advocacy show up in your songwriting and in the way you connect with your audience?
Well, first off, I want to say that there's nothing to be ashamed of anybody that's suffering from mental illness. In fact, acknowledging it and seeking help is courageous, and it's a valiant effort. And for somebody like me that suffered terribly with depression, and then watch friends of mine suffer from depression, and then go as far as to actually end their lives. And I lost 2 dear friends in the last 20 years to that. It became an issue that I wanted to charter and champion and help bring to light. When I write as a way of processing things. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, if somebody hears my songs and they say, "Oh, wow, I'm not alone in this."
Right.
I've heard somebody else has experienced heartbreak. Somebody else has experienced a setback. Mm-hmm. In my songs, I try to write where there's a little bit of conflict, there's a little bit of resolution, but there's always a little glimmer of hope. And if people can hear that in my songs and that hope, then maybe they can get through the day. And they can get through the day and the next day. So my hopes and prayers is that my music, when people hear it, that if they relate, they can say, "Hey, I'm not alone in this. There's other people that go through this." And then maybe that makes their burden and their struggle a little bit more easier to manage.
Exactly. There's so many people who struggle every day, you know, and when they hear a good song like that, I'm sure it helps them out a little bit, you know?
Yeah. So, so that's kind of where it is, as far as that, how I write. I write what comes to mind, you know, and I write funny satire songs, but I never release them because they're just silly, and I always say they're silly and funny, and it's not really the kind of I want to kind of stick with my sound and develop that and my songwriting style and take it to the next level. I don't really want to change it up. I think I found my niche, and I want to kind of stay in that without becoming complacent, of course.
Yeah, you know what would be cool? You could throw a satire song here and there during like a live set, you know?
Yeah. Well, I do. When I play live, so it's very hard when you're a singer-songwriter, unless you're playing a singer-songwriter festival. It's very hard to go into a bar or go to a gig and just play all your original music. So, of course, you have to sprinkle things in that people know, and you got to get them laughing. You got to create that rapport with the audience in that type of venue. Unlike when you go to a listening room where you sit down there and you get to actually do your craft, or a songwriting circle where it's your music. So when I do like the bar gigs and stuff like that, I do all kinds of stuff. You know, it's nice. And the later it gets into the evening, the sillier and more off script it becomes. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, so it's fun. I enjoy playing out and performing, but I also enjoy being in the studio. I would just love being in there and laying down tracks, and then like maybe overanalyzing them to the point where I have to walk away for a few days. But it's always kind of fun and refreshing to record something and work on it and then leave it for 2 or 3 weeks and then go back to it.
Right.
And then listen to it a lot, because then you hear the other instrumentations, or you hear what you might want to do with the arrangement and how you might want to change it up, whether what you want a pre-chorus to the chorus, where you want to place the bridge, all those things. So, that's the beauty of sometimes recording something and letting it sit and then going back with fresh ears.
Right.
Because I think if you hear it over and over and over again, you tend to you miss those little things that might need to be tweaked or fixed, or just the way it flows. And when you come back to it, you might be inspired to change it up and improve it. And I think that's, I call that letting it cook, so to speak. Let it simmer. Let it simmer.
You got any gigs coming up?
I have the Singer-Songwriter Festival. I'm going to Cape May to do that in March. That's the next big show that I have planned. Other than that, I'm just in training right now. I'm working with a guy that's helping me train for this ultra marathon, and I'm really looking forward to that. I love to run. It is some of my best songs are written when I'm running down the street or running on a trail or whatever. So
nice.
I'm focused on that for now, and I have a couple trips planned this year, but I'll do mostly singer-songwriter festivals this year. I won't be doing a lot of bar gigs, or I'll do a few corporate events and a few charity gigs if people reach out to me. But I like the corporate events because I get to do my own music, and they pay well.
Yeah, that helps, right?
So, yeah, especially if you're an independent artist, it sure does.
Of course. So, now,
yeah, absolutely.
For the listeners who are discovering your music today, where can they go to follow you online, like your website or social media? So
my website is richallenmusic.com, and you can find me there. You can also find me on Bandcamp, Spotify. I'm on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, of course, and Instagram. I I also have the Indie Resonant Voice, which is my blog.com there, where you can also find some information about me and my writing versus my and I'm also on YouTube, so there's some YouTube videos. So I'm out there. They just got to look for me, Rich Allen Music, and I always appreciate people letting me know what they think, whether they like it or they don't like it. I just always like to hear engagement from fans and friends, and so yeah, that's where I'm at, and.
Cool.
Hopefully, I'm on. I get played on a lot of independent radio stations, and I'm thankful for that as well. When the DJs care enough and like my music enough that they say, "Yeah, we're going to put this in rotation," and they throw it on. So that's, to me, that's the greatest honor. Anybody can be playlisted, but to get played on the radio, it's a big deal. I grew up listening to radio, so.
Exactly.
MNR out of Philadelphia and WYSP. So, yeah, great radio stations back in the day.
Yeah, I remember those stations.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up, is there anything you'd like to mention or share that we didn't get a chance to cover today?
No, I just want to really thank you for allowing me to spend the time to talk with you and for me to share kind of a little bit about myself and to share a little bit of my music with your listeners. And I always want to say that it takes little energy at all to be kind, and everybody just needs to be kind, regardless of where you're at. If you just stop for a second, pause, reflect, and smile at a stranger, I bet you your day's going to be better. Because I know for me, when I try to be kind and smile and recognize that we're all in this together, right, my world's a little bit brighter. So that's all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yeah. Kindness goes a long way, and it just makes living a lot easier too.
Yeah, it's infectious.
Yeah, definitely is. Well, Rich, I want to thank you so much for doing this today. I had a great time chatting with you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll have to do this again some other time.
Absolutely.
Next time you got something coming out and you want to promote it, give me a shout. I'd love to have you back on.
I appreciate that. Thank you again for your time.
You're welcome. Will I see you at the ISSA Awards this year?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I'll get the nomination, and hopefully, but even if I don't, it doesn't matter to me. I always have so much fun at this event. It's a great event to be around all these other wonderful people. The award show's fun. The after party and pre-party are fun. But the thing that I love the most is us all sitting around the fire pit at the hotel, trading off songs with our acoustic guitar and singing all night until they shut us down.
Nice.
It is like, it's priceless. It's unbelievable. It's such a great event. And I encourage anybody who's an independent singer-songwriter to get involved with ISSA and come to this if you can make it, because the networking and the friendships and the connections you make are priceless. I've made so many friends from around the world being involved with this with the ISSA community, as well as other communities I'm involved with, New Artist Spotlights and other amazing organization to be involved with, and the Songwriter Circle and connection and the networking. It's just invaluable.
Mm-hmm. That's where I met you at the ISSA. I met you at the pre-party.
Yes, it was such a good time.
Yeah,
I just had so much fun, and the award show was really amazing. I got a chance to play at the after party, which was fun. I have to tell you real quick that was pretty scary, to be honest with you. When you figure I had to get up on stage and play in front of all these other amazing artists. So you were actually playing for other musicians, and to see them respond in the way that they did was just amazing. It was just like, wow. that was like worth its weight in gold. It was just, it's a moment that I will always hold and cherish as one of my ultimate achievements of facing my fears and pulling it off and having a good time while I was doing it.
Yeah, it was a great weekend all around. I had a great time. I took my wife and I was up for Radio Station of the Year, and I wasn't even expecting to win it. I actually won a bronze.
Yeah, isn't that so awesome?
Yeah, I was
you don't expect to win, but you do, and then you say to yourself, "Wow, this is really cool."
Yeah, so I put my hat in again for this year, and if I become a finalist, I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to go either way, just because I enjoy it, and it's only a 8-hour drive from Tampa. Put on a playlist, drive, and then it's a blast. So yeah, good stuff.
Well, I hope to see you there again this year, man, and this time we'll have to take a picture together. All right?
Absolutely.
All right, brother.
All right.
Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and best of luck with this new music. And I look forward to hearing some more great stuff from you in the future. All right?
Yes. Thank you so much. You have a great afternoon as well.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Rich, thank you for sharing your time, your stories, and your heart with us today. Your music reminds us that vulnerability is strength and that honest songwriting still has power to connect, heal, and inspire. From Kept My Name to The Ghost We Keep, your work captures identity, memory, and the emotional echoes we all carry with us. And that's what makes it resonate so deeply. And before we sign off, I want to leave you with one more final moment of reflection. Turn it up, lean in, and let it speak to you. Here's The Ghost We Keep by Rich Allen. I'm James Michael Hollenstein, and you've been listening to The Record Machine Show. Until next time, keep those records spinning.
Felt your course at different times in songs of sorrow and fine wine. Felt your presence walking these streets, in the alleys of Paris. I felt your heartbeat. Then in London, Camden Town, in a booth at Hawkins Arms, when I sat down, walking down Music Road towards the Broadway lights aglow. I know I felt your soul deep inside of me. We saw the world different times, different lives. I wake every morning and I cry from 6 to 7, drop to my knees and I look towards the heavens on another day of wondering and pondering the cost. Am I merely a reflection of everything I've lost? So hard to shake, I see you everywhere. I'm so stubborn, I hold on. Will you ever care? Your ghost has taken hold and lives here rent-free inside my soul. We saw the world, and I felt everything. I felt your ghost, I felt everything. my new love. The basses pluck the strings. Such a simple song, but no one sings along. A haunting, grieving melody. You're hiking in Spain, I'm moving to the cove, far from your memories, trying to lose your ghost. I might see you in everything, and then again sometimes I know this apparition is only in my mind. We saw the world at different times, in a different life. I felt your ghost, songs of sorrow and fine wine, and I felt everything. I felt everything. I felt everything.
The Record Machine Show is a weekly radio podcast produced by Jimmy Hall Productions. All rights reserved. For distribution information or to add this podcast to your website, please visit our contact page at therecordmachineshow.com to submit your request. Thanks for listening. See you next time on The Record Machine Show.